What's your reasoning behind that?
Because the tests aren't a real accurate measure of almost anything. Test can kiss my ass. That is on the record.
I'm Giovanni Tadiotto, and I'm a senior at the University of Illinois studying marketing. The reason why I felt attached to the topic of our project today is that where I'm from, I've never experienced any kind of social injustice between different schools and some schools being privileged compared to other one. And since I got here in the United States and took this class of took this social justice class, I realized that it's not the case in every countries that there's some equalities between different schools in the same countries. And I learned a little bit about how um, some difference happens between different schools in different districts, and I felt really interested in, I mean, intrigued in why is that reason and what we could maybe do to help improve the situation in terms of awareness. And so it really helped me to dig into research and understand a little bit um, what is happening as well during this situation of the COVID-19 and how it could impact some of those unprivileged schools. And this is why I was very into doing this project with the help of my two partners, CJ and Jensen.
Off. Just making sure. What is your name?
My name is Jerron Williams. I'm an employee of Thornton High School.
Okay. And Thornton is District 205?
Yeah.
Okay. And what grade level do you teach at?
I teach freshman English.
Okay. And what are three issues that have become more prevalent in your school due to basically ever since COVID-19 has made the entire world stand still?
One, technology and access to technology for students, especially students in impoverished communities and homes.
Mm-hmm.
Two is mandatory reporting, being able to look out for our students, since teachers are some of the most proficient mandatory reporters. We don't really get to see our students and put out those reports like we do so often, and the system really does rely on teachers to make a lot of those reports. And then three, being able to get students to focus. A lot of our students, it's hard for them to focus on their schoolwork and learn without the structure.
Virus.
To what?
What has your school done to adjust to the coronavirus?
So the way we've been fighting the Rona is one, they've given laptops out to everyone. Two, they've making everybody get on Google Classroom. Um, there's no more. They not had no more zeros. We can't put in zeros. They're making if you fail, you get what's called an in progress grade instead of an F. And if you don't, and if your grade lowers your GPA, then you just take the class. They just have a pass. They make it a pass fail class.
That's really.
I think they're just completely unmotivated. I think they really don't care. And the ones that know their grade can't drop below the one that already was, they super don't care. And honestly, why would you? We can't really teach nothing new. We're not really mandated to teach new things.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got no reason to care. Honestly, they're just doing this to keep the kids good.
So when next year rolls around, do you feel as though like this basically pre-senioritis for a lot of these students? Do you feel like it'll roll over into the next year, especially if a lot of places still have to have the same requirements that they do now?
Yes, because think about it like this: if I'm teaching kids how to do argumentative writing, but then they don't do it, but because of the Rona, they never have to turn that in. They go into the next grade never having done an argumentative paper.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see, like, if you're going from middle school to high school, never having done an argumentative essay, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same. Let's say if you was in math and you go into the next grade not knowing how to factor,
Mm.
it's gonna set you back.
It really does. And with y'all students, basically everyone's moving up to the next grade next year, no matter what.
Pretty much.
So there will be some students that don't have the skill sets to be able to succeed at the next level, still moving up.
I'll say most.
I think that this topic is, really important to bring to light and talk about just because in some way or another we're all impacted by it, whether it be, as a future educator or even just as a parent or family member. It applies to everyone in their own way. Um, and obviously, this is a very turbulent time. And in my opinion, I think the circumstances of COVID-19 have really challenged the norms of our education system, which obviously haven't been built in an equitable way at all. And I think the cracks are really beginning to show in terms of those already facing adversities, especially due to low income, now having to go through more. And for me as an aspiring teacher, having an understanding of where things are going wrong kind of gives me an indication of where things can go right, and forces me to think about how I can personally structure my teaching practices with a mindfulness and understanding to these inequities, especially knowing that our society will be permanently changed because of COVID.
Completely shut down, how would it impact the school's ability to prepare students for standardized testing?
They won't be able to. But I think they should just cancel standardized tests, to be honest.
And
Fuck them tests.
And like, what's your reasoning behind that?
Because the tests aren't a real accurate measure of almost anything. Test and kiss my ass. And that is on the record.
Okay. And now, like, what are the biggest issues that students now face besides the fact of like not being able to face with the teacher?
Focus. They can't focus themselves. They can't motivate themselves to do what they need to do.
That has been forced upon us.
Cancel school. Cancel all of it. All of it.
Mm-hmm.
All of it except the college class. Cancel school. I think school needs to be canceled until further notice.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're gonna create a system, cancel school or let school run the way it was running, but online. Because I'm gonna make you accountable for your online class the way I would anything else. That's one thing. But I'm gonna pretty much BS you with all these scores, then go ahead and just cancel. Because there's no point wasting people's time if it's all BS. But let me treat it like you would treat an online class. Like, you get a grade point out for it. Everything you do counts. You have to be held accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Do it like that, and then I'll be into it. Like, the world was going to move to a lot more online classes anyways. In the next 10 years, almost at least 3 of their college classes would have been online. They wouldn't have no choice. At least 3 classes they would have had to take online anyways. So I think the world getting to see what that looks like and training those kids for an online class to match the new world, I think should have happened anyways. But the world is going to move that way regardless.
Mm-hmm. Corona never happened. How could we really fix the schooling system to make it more productive for our students instead of churning out basically workers?
They need to have. I think they need to have backwards planning and create a curriculum that matches not academic outcomes, because you don't use academia for academia. That matches outcomes for what you want people to be able to do in their adult life. And so if you prepare if school is used to prepare people for more school, I think school becomes useless because all you have to do is not go to school and then none of that matters. But school should be used to prepare you for something that's outside of school.
As a black man in America who grew up in a very impoverished community, it's extremely important to be able to support schools. And the entire reason why this idea for the project came about is because I saw that a lot of students had to go up to the school to get lunches. And that sparked a memory in my mind that a lot of us, back when we were in high school and middle school, those were our only times of eating hot lunches or hot meals throughout the entire day. And taking away one of those things, or taking away the security blanket that schools provide for students of color such as myself and students in very impoverished areas, if all of that gets canceled due to COVID-19, then they are not able to be the best student they possibly can be. So these tests completely misinform whoever is using this information to decide on whether or not this student is a valuable member of society. These are our leaders of tomorrow, and they will be done extremely wrong if standardized tests continue to go on the way that they do, especially during a time like this. If not doing this for the teachers, then at least do it for the students. Their voices are the most important because they are the leaders for tomorrow.